Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I am kind of over it. I recorded this whole thing and I recorded two sources of audio, so it sounded like I had an echo the whole time and I didn't know about it until just now. So let me go ahead and boost some volume over here. Okay, sounds like I'm in good shape. Let's go ahead and go through with the show. I'm going to do this all again. So hopefully it just goes faster. Last time was 26 minutes. Let's see what we get now. So let's just jump in to the first story I'm going to take a look at. And that is, whoa, where'd it go? All right, more Ukraine stuff. Apparently we're sending cluster bombs to Ukraine. Again, just to reiterate from previous times of me talking about the United States arming Ukraine, I feel like all of this was just planned from the start. They knew that they were going to eventually give these things over, and just this kind of bit by bit approach was just done to make sure that the American people were either so worn out by it or it just felt like it wasn't a lot at once. But still, this is a progression. Every single time it seems like more and more. Let me turn some light on here. Oh my God. I'm all in the dark. I mean, that didn't do much, but it did something. But yeah, we're just giving more and more. It's the Patriot missile system. It's the M1 Abrams tank. It's the F-16 fighter jets. It's just ridiculous, all of it. I mean, I know the Ukrainian people have to defend their territory, and I know that Russia has infringed on their territory, for, time immemorial. But this is just kind of ridiculous. How on earth do we not have enough money to continue the child tax credit in the United States for people that truly do need the money, but we can just throw billions, millions of dollars to Ukraine just on a whim? Just another package. All right, let's look at this a little bit further. All right, so this is from Politico, written by Alexander Ward, Lara, and Joe Gould and Paul McClary. I'm sorry, Laura, I can't get your last name. But the Biden administration will announce a new weapons package for Ukraine on Friday that will include the controversial cluster munitions Kyiv has long asked for, two U.S. officials said. A person familiar with the discussion further noted that the, what is that, tranche? Or what is that word? Totaling around $800 million will also feature dozens, quote, dozens of Bradley and Stryker fighting vehicles, air defense missiles, and anti-mine equipment. Ukrainian forces are struggling to break through Russia's front lines during their counteroffensive, and officials believe that providing munitions, which Russians have already used and which litter the battlefield, will give Kyiv an edge as it supplies of conventional weapons dwindle. The officials and the person familiar with the topic spoke on condition of man, what is happening right now? I just can't speak today. This is crazy. I already did this. I think that's kind of where my head is at. Anonymity to discuss a decision that has not yet been announced. Like, when moments like that happen, it's like I feel dumb. It's like I read the word earlier, but yeah, y'all would not have watched if there was that echo shit happening in this video. Y'all absolutely would not have watched. But long story short, the reason why these are so controversial is because, just like landmines, eventually years and years later down the line, they can just kill civilians, children that are walking, farmers that are planting crops, whatever. And like, really, is this the type of thing that the United States should really be involved in and promoting? Because eventually one day it is going to be our weapon that just randomly kills some child out in the middle of nowhere. Yes, Ukraine and Russia are using these weapons right now, but that doesn't mean that we should provide them. Okay? I mean, we need to be working toward a peaceful resolution. The people that are against this, really the sole people that are against this are the State Department at the highest levels. They, of course, want to seek a diplomatic solution, but apparently some other powers that be don't want that. All right, well, that's that story. Take a look at it on Politico, and let's move on to our next topic. UPS workers are really bearing the brunt of climate change. I mean, think about it. They're out there all day long. I mean, not just UPS workers, the Postal Service as well. Can you imagine if your job, and for most of you, for a lot of you, you go to some air-conditioned building and do your job, but they go to a warehouse that's probably already hot as is, load up their trucks and whatever, and then they drive off in this 100-degree heat that we're having, this record heat. They said just the other day it was like the hottest day on record, and then the next day was even hotter than that. So if you're not a believer of climate change, do you really believe, like, the entire union for the UPS is really just kind of making this stuff up? Well, let's take a look at it. So this is from Time. Looks like written by Aaron Baker from Georgia. It says, these days, UPS driver Barclay Wimpy prepares for his daily route out of Rome, Georgia, with the precision of a battlefield commander. He loads up his cooler with ice and stocks it with sandwiches, a case of water bottles, like a case, not just some water bottles, a whole case, and a couple of sports drinks. Pause. Okay, if you're out and about and you're in this heat, be sure to drink like sports drinks in addition to water, because the more you sweat, you're losing electrolytes. The electrolytes, if you lose too much of that, your muscles are just going to start to cramp up, and it's just downright terrible. So that's my little PSA for right now. Anyway, so he girds himself with a bandana and some plastic bags. Around midday, when the sun is at its height, he will soak the bandana in ice water and wrap it around his head, Rambo style, UPS's strict appearance rules notwithstanding. Mid-afternoon, this is the guy right here. Mid-afternoon, when the day's accumulated heat blasts out of the back of his non-air-conditioned delivery truck like an oven with the door open, he will take off his shoes and slip his feet into the plastic bags and plunge them into the puddling ice of his cooler for a few moments of respite. Some days he'll dunk his head in there if it gets really hot. Really, do y'all want to work like that? Is that something that y'all want to do at your office? Do you want the AC to go out? If the AC went out at most of the offices in America, you would have a bunch of people that would just straight up go home because they're just not going to tolerate it. But for those that stay, they're going to be miserable. They're going to be grumpy. They're going to be complaining. They're not going to do their jobs that well. And this dude is out there every day delivering. Well, maybe not every day. Maybe like, I don't know what their schedules are. But apparently they plan on striking for a reason. Working all day in heat like this, he says, from behind the wheel of his truck on recent 100 degree Fahrenheit morning, quote, is physically painful when your body starts to heat up. You don't feel right, end quote. As long as triple-digit heat waves smother the United States from California to Florida, not feeling right is starting to feel normal for Wimpy, age 28. He says, quote, there's no question that the globe is heating up, end quote. He says, quote, summers are getting hotter, our work days are getting longer. I'm thankful that I have a job, but it's an untenable situation that we're in right now with the rising heat, end quote. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to tell you that straight up right now. I am not going to do it. I have a friend that worked for UPS. I'm not sure. I got to catch up with him. But he was just saying the money. They just kept, every so often they would just offer him more money, and it's kind of like couldn't turn it down. So I don't know what's happening over there, but apparently it's enough that these people want to go on strike. Says Wimpy is not alone. Across the United States, UPS drivers are braving one of the most immediate aspects of climate change: longer, more intense heat waves that make working long hours in wheeled ovens not just uncomfortable, but dangerous. Last summer, Wimpy succumbed to heat stroke midway through his route. He spent the night in the hospital where he was diagnosed with severe kidney injury. Caused by heat. On June 25th, 2002, Esteban Chavez, age 24, died of suspected heat stroke while delivering packages in Pasadena, California, on a day that saw temperatures in the high 90s. A few weeks later, another UPS driver collapsed on a customer's doorstep in Arizona when the temperatures hit 110. Y'all aren't doing this job. There's no way y'all are going to do this job. Y'all that work in your nice air-conditioned offices, there's no way you're going to get out and deliver these packages. So yeah, please, when you hear about this strike, or if they do decide to strike and it does affect you, please grant them some grace, because their trucks don't have air conditioning. If your car, just on the ride to work, in the mornings when it's cool, in the evenings when it's kind of sort of cool, you have air conditioning. Imagine just not even turning that shit on. No air conditioning, no AC. You're just commuting to work, and you're just going to sweat, and you'll get there and you'll be all sweaty, and you'll get home and you'll be all sweaty. You're not doing that, right? All right. Enough about that one. All right. The last one, we got Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's booted from the House Freedom Caucus. The House Freedom Caucus, they didn't boot her for, like, any of the things that I guess liberals or progressives or Democrats would have imagined that she was booted for, but just some foolish stuff that was said, really, which just blows me away. Republicans. All right, let me just read this real quick. This is from Politico, written by Jordan Carney. So the House Freedom Caucus voted to remove Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene from the pro-Trump group last month. A member confirmed Thursday, indicating that her fight with Lauren Boebert was part of the group's reasoning. Quote, a vote was taken to remove Marjorie Taylor Greene from the House Freedom Caucus for some of the things she's done, end quote, said Freedom Caucus board member Representative Andy Harris, Republican from Maryland. When asked if she was formally out, he replied, as far as I know, that's the way it is. Like, why isn't there anything that's just concretely said? Why can't he just answer with a yes or no? I mean, just this ambiguity in everything that happens is ridiculous. It's the first public confirmation of Greene's fate within the conservative group. The vote was first reported by Politico, though it was unclear at the time whether she'd been ejected. It took place less than 2 days after Greene got into a verbal fight with Freedom Caucus member Boebert, Lauren Boebert, during which Greene referred to the Colorado Republican as a, quote, little bitch, end quote. After the exchange was first reported, Greene confirmed the fight and doubled down, adding another pejorative, which they're just not even saying. What was that pejorative? What was that pejorative? I would like to know that. They said pejorative for little bitch, and then they said little bitch. I want to know what the pejorative is. Come on, Politico. You got to give it to us. Give the people what they want. But, yeah, so this is ridiculous. So some little middle school level fight. That's the reason why she was kicked out. Now, don't get me wrong. That should be a reason to get kicked out, but it's like she had so many other reasons before that were way bigger. I think the way she, quote, I think the way she referred to a fellow member was probably not the way we expect our members to refer to other fellow, especially female members. Republicans, y'all are ridiculous. Well, because she's a woman, she should be held to a higher standard. I mean, quite frankly, women are held to a higher standard. Number one. But, yeah, so especially because she is a woman, like, you really said that out of your mouth. Republicans, y'all are ridiculous. Just straight up ridiculous. We all know why Marjorie Taylor Greene was elected. She wasn't elected because of some ladylike, gravitas that she carries. She was elected because she doubles down on the bullshit that she says, right? Boebert, too. I'm going to look through Boebert's Twitter on one of these one day, because it's just nothing but Biden, 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 Biden. It's like she doesn't talk about anything else. It's just Biden this, Biden that. And quite frankly, the people that are her audience just eat that shit up, and they don't even realize that she's there to do other shit. But this is not about Lauren Boebert. I don't even know what this is about. This is just, I don't know. I mean, I think it's all kind of dumb. I think we have bigger fish to fry. I think there are more important things happening. But quite frankly, I don't mind someone getting their comeuppance. That's what I said. I don't know why it came out like that. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, so let me know what you think, whether it's this story, whether it's the UPS drivers going on strike because of the heat that they have to experience, among other things, not having air-conditioned vehicles, whether it's Biden and now deciding that we're going to give another munitions package to Ukraine, Biden changing his tune on that. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with the cluster munitions going to Ukraine? Do you think that the UPS workers have a solid argument? If you are or have previously been a UPS worker, I would love to hear your take on things. And then Marjorie Taylor Greene, I mean, if you want to leave a comment about that, you can, but I just kind of, it is what it is. I don't really necessarily need any comments about that one. For as much as she's done, I don't mind her having a little bit of a fall from grace. Quite frankly, she should be kicked out of the entire House as it is, along with Lauren Boebert and a bunch of other ridiculous people that are there. But pick up the shirt if you like the way this looks. It's very slimming. It's very soft. It's a nice shirt. Go and pick one up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. If you like this content, I'm starting out just doing this. This is maybe like my 4th, 5th time going live in recent time. I've dabbled with it before. I might make this a daily thing. Who knows? Now, if there's a certain time that you would rather see me do live videos, then I'll also leave that in the comments as well. I mean, that would be very helpful. But yeah, let me know what you think about all of this stuff. I would love to have conversations with you. Always be respectful, but I'm willing to see other people's point of view. Of course, I'm opinionated, duh, as are you, as is everyone. But I think there's a way that we can converse and get along and all this stuff. Shout out to the people that have been commenting. That's been really awesome. I've loved seeing that and having conversations with y'all. But until then, it has been a joy and a pleasure, and I hope y'all have a great day. Don't think about this shit all day. Just, do what you need to do. Make sure you're up to speed. I'll go ahead and include some of these articles in the show notes along with everything else that's there. Got the podcast. Go ahead and listen to the podcast. But yeah, beyond that, that's it.